Hi, my name is Diego, and in this video, I'm going to do a 1-year update review on the Yamaha PSR E373. Let me say that we already did a full-out review when we first purchased this keyboard, which you can check on the links on the description of this video. But here, we're going to almost update you after a year of using it in our South Florida music schools, tell you how it's holding up, what do our students think about it. And let me start by telling you that the keys of this keyboard, I really like them. They feel pretty natural. They're not really wobbly. They don't really wobble to the sides. And after a year of being used 6 days a week by hundreds of students a week, they're really holding up. I think that's something that a lot of the cheaper keyboards out there that are like almost off brands, that's one of the reasons that I personally don't like them, because they fall apart. They fall apart on their normal use, even more if they're used the way that we use them, which is probably not a normal way of getting them used weekly. Now, let me say that the sound, that's the piano sound, first piano sound on it. I like the piano sound. I think it's very usable. I like Yamaha because their sounds are almost there's a substantial amount of sounds that I think are very like almost natural sounding. They're like pleasant to play. And I think when you play keyboard, when you're starting to learn an instrument like this, I think it's very important to choose a good 5 to 10 sounds and use them all the time. And I think this keyboard has a lot of options when it comes to that. Now, we would like to say also that when it comes to practice tools, I think that's one of the things that I really like about this keyboard. For example, like if you want to do metronome, you press that button. The metronome is very easy to kind of like get started. It's very easy to press tempo, make the tempo, let's say, faster. So this is very... I like it that it's nice and quick to be able to like almost get to it. Also, I can press and hold metronome and it gives me like time signature. So I can put it, let's say, on 0, which that does is when I press a metronome, it's just going to give me a count. So it's almost like easier because I don't have to like start at a specific point. So as a piano teacher, I think that's very, very important to be able to have quickly control over a metronome. I also like the rhythms. The rhythms are the drum beats. A lot of them are also very usable. So this is the first one. It's pretty easy to tempo tap here to go slower. So those a couple of features when it comes to practicing to me are almost like a must. Easy access to rhythms that sound good, and be very quickly be able to change between them and change the tempos on them. I think that's very easy. It's very easy to explain to a student how to do it. They can do it themselves. So I really like that. Now, when it comes to the songs and the features, when it comes to like learning, I think those are actually pretty good. One of the things, first song is Furelise. In my opinion, that's a little bit almost hard to put it as a first piece that someone's going to try to learn. But you can see there in the screen, I don't know how easy it is to see on this video, but you can see the notes there. I like that it has almost 2 different versions of it. One is faster than the other. You can do a thing called phrase repeat, in which the machine keeps almost playing small sections, so you can try to get accurate at playing it correctly. I as a piano teacher, I think it's almost like a little bit limited how much you can learn with a keyboard like this. I can say that the biggest thing that you want to try to do is do the correct fingerings. And I think those, in the way that the keyboard displays the notes, is very hard to know. Am I playing that with my thumb or my pinky? That can be a little bit of an issue. But at the same time, I think the keyboard does have a good choice of songs, I believe. And they're put in a way that is fairly intuitive to, okay, let me try to learn this. Because you get a keyboard like this, you purchase it and kind of you need to start somewhere. We actually have a free course that we recommend, so you can also check that in the description of this video. But if you're just going to use the keyboard as is, I think it has a couple of good options. Now, let me also mention that I like a couple of quick features. I'll cover them very quickly. This is also covered, I think, in the first video that we did. I like the fact that you can do splits, so you can get almost a bass sound out here. And piano. That I think is it's a pretty cool feature. You can also do dual sounds, so that means that you can have 2 sounds at the same time, which also I think is very important to, in a keyboard, be able to have that. And I really like the fact that you can choose which 2 sounds would be almost a range. So as you can see too, and I don't know how much you can see that the keyboard is holding up really good. It doesn't have like a lot of scratches. This keyboard is used by a lot of students that don't particularly take great care of it. And I think I really like Yamaha products because of that, because it's almost like they can withstand usage. Now, once again, our usage is just a little bit above normal, But I think if you're purchasing a keyboard and 3-6 months later, a key in the middle is not working, which I see that happen with keyboards that are cheap, you're gonna have to throw it away. So it's almost like that's a big issue for me that I have with other brands, not with Yamaha. I really like this keyboard. So overall, we still absolutely recommend. I think at this price point, at the time of making this video, I think this is almost $199 normally. The only drawback that I see is that it comes without a sustain pedal and usually without a power adapter. So you should probably purchase those two directly. It works also with the 6 AA batteries, but those, they're fairly, like, you know, a keyboard like this probably would consume them fairly quickly. So we run them for our studio with adapters. So it's not included, but it's usually about $10, $20 for the adapter, and another $10 to $20 for a sustain pedal. So overall, a great instrument by Yamaha. We definitely would recommend you to purchase one. Check our main video that we did reviewing a lot more of the features. It has a lot of features that I'm not going to cover in this video, but I can tell you after a year of using it, we're really happy. We definitely recommend it as a purchase, and we're almost excited to review other keyboards that you guys may think that it's comparable to this one. But in this price point, it is really one of our favorites for someone that is looking for an instrument that will be suitable for a beginner. If you would like more information about what we do here at The Hit, check our main website, thehitmusicstudio.com. We'll see you guys on the next one.